आप देख रहे हैं TV9 डिजिटल। मैं हूं साक्षी बत्रा। इस खास शो में हम चर्चा करते हैं हेल्थ केयर एक्सपर्ट से, जो कि हमें बताते हैं कि कोविड-19 और इससे साथ जुड़ी सभी कॉम्प्लिकेशंस को आप कैसे डील कर सकते हैं इफेक्टिवली। आप सभी मिलकर कैसे कोविड-19 को बीट कर सकते हैं। आज के खास मेहमान हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं डॉक्टर मनीष मनन, हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट पीडियाट्रिक्स एंड न्यूनेटोलॉजी एट पारस हॉस्पिटल्स joins in. Doctor, thank you very much for taking out time for TV9 Digital and sparing your time for us for this very, very important topic that we are going to be discussing today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Doctor, before we begin this discussion, I have to play a short video for you and for all our viewers. TV9 Digital is bringing in waiting area network so that it can enhance the patient engagement in the waiting areas of doctors. Let's play that video and see what it is.
Today, doctors are busier than ever providing care and advice to patients. And the reality is that an average patient now spends much more time in the waiting room than in the doctor's chamber. With such a captive audience, it's time to put their wait time to good use. Introducing TV9 Waiting Area Network that provides premium patient engagement experience through engaging and informative videos. These videos are created keeping in mind an Indian patient seeking medical attention. TV9 Waiting Area Network provides a perfect platform for educating the patients on everything a doctor's practice has to offer while elevating the doctor's brand at the same time. As a doctor, all you need is to have Wi-Fi at your clinic and we'll take care of the rest. We provide you with a TV, a media player, your clinic profile, and a playlist customized as per your practice. Combine all this with the regular news updates from TV9 and you have an awesome branding and marketing tool for your clinic. Write to us at wan@tv9.com and we'll get in touch with you to set up our solution at your premises.
All right, so that was TV9 Waiting Area Network, or TV9 WAN. Let's now move on to with our discussion. We have Dr. Manish Manan with us. Dr. Manan, help us understand, especially with the kind of COVID-19 second wave that has hit us even more severely when you compare it with the first wave, especially with regards to children now. What kind of cases are coming in? What kind are these more severe than the first wave when you talk about the COVID-19 second wave in children?
So let me put this very clear. There was a thought initially that kids won't be affected by COVID-19. So kids are as infected and as prone to infection as adults are. The only difference is that the severity of the illness in children is much less than that of adults. So we have seen a lot of kids who have got infected in the second wave. I think more than those who had got infected in the first wave. There may be 2-3 reasons for that. One of the reasons I think is probably a lot of kids were not tested in the first wave. Firstly, the only way they could have got themselves tested was by a doctor's prescription. In the second wave, it was free. Anybody could go and get tested. That was number one. Secondly, the number of patients who have suffered from COVID-19 in second wave is much more than that who had suffered in the first wave. But the chance of a child getting admitted in a hospital with a severe illness is 20 times less than that of an adult. Of huge number of adults who were admitted in our hospital, I had to admit only 2 children. Rest all we could manage at home. So about, I would say 300 children we managed at home, and most of them by video consultation. So yes, they get infected very easily, but the fact that they don't get such a severe illness is actually a relief. So this is what I want to tell you. Most of them get, mild fever, low-grade fever, lasting 3 to 4 days. And then they are fine. And in many instances, when I tell the parent, I'm suspecting COVID in your child, they get them tested and it turns positive. They are surprised. Oh, we didn't expect this to happen, So that's the scene. But still, we need to be vigilant because post-COVID sequel is something, which we need to be very careful of in respect to children. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely, doctor. It is a big relief that children so far have had only mild cases of COVID-19. But the growing concern currently is with the respect of the speculative third wave that everybody is talking about. And there is a talk about how that wave may actually impact children much more than the adults. How much of that is true? If that happens, what are the things that are we prepared for?
very important question. I think a lot of clarification has been given by the Indian Academy of Pediatrics, by some people from the COVID task force as well, and also by Dr. Guleria, who is the director of AIIMS. And I had also given a statement regarding this in one of the news channels. This speculation was by a virologist in the south of India, and it was repeated by the scientific advisor of India on television. There may be a third wave. This was when the second wave was at its peak. Let me tell you one thing. There is no scientific basis or statistics to say that there will be a third wave. It was just a speculation. And the science behind why they said children may be more affected is they presume that most of the adults would have got vaccinated. Hence, maybe the kids would be more affected. But there is no scientific basis or statistics to say that this is going to happen. Having said this, I want to also put this forth. If somebody thinks second wave is gone and COVID is finished, they are wrong. We are going to get multiple waves throughout and throughout. There is a possibility that the infectivity may be high, but the morbidity and mortality may be lower in the future waves. So I don't totally agree with this that yes, there will be a third wave, kids will be more affected. It's a method of creating panic. I don't agree with that. And many of the senior people in the society, including the IAP, including the head of director of AIIMS, have also agreed with this fact. We should be prepared in case there is a problem, in case kids get affected. That thing should be there, but that doesn't mean that we should create panic in the society. That's something which is quite unwarranted. Everything cannot stop. You cannot stop the society, the schools, the children going outside, the playing forever. That has its own ramifications, which are much more severe than the speculation of a third wave. So this is what I have to say regarding the third wave.
Absolutely, sir. More importantly, I wanted to understand from you, just like what you said, that, we cannot hold back children inside. We have to allow everything and there should not be panic. But in case there is a chance that the children could get infected and they are also in the current wave as well, what are the things that we can do to protect our children?
The most important thing is diagnose early and treat early. Commonly, what I see in the society is, a child has a disease, has fever for the past 3 to 4 days, a cough, a running nose, or a stomach ache. And parents say, 2-3 din se ho raha tha, we thought we'll give this. And some of them have even bought some medicine from the pharmacy and given it to the child. And then they say, okay, now let's consult the doctor. My advice is, the moment a disease starts, the moment fever starts, the moment a symptom starts, please consult your pediatrician early. You don't know what is going on these days. There could be a post-COVID sequel. It could be early signs of COVID. So if I know it's early COVID, I know what to look for in future. If I know a child has had COVID, I know I need to think of MISC. If I know it's neither, I know I need to think of diseases other than these. So early consultation with the doctor so that the diagnosis is made, and then we give the treatment. And in case quarantine is required, that's done. Early intervention, early diagnosis, and early consult with the pediatrician. That's the first thing. And no self-medication. Self-medication does more harm than good. We have seen so many children in the society, having suffered because of this. Parents have already given a course of antibiotics. You go to the chemist and ask for an antibiotic, he just give it to you without a prescription. This is something which has to stop. I don't know. The policymakers have to think about it, but this is important. So this is one thing. Secondly, the diet has to be good. The screen time has to be less. We have to keep our children healthy, and they should be of strong immunity rather than, hiding them under the bed. That's not the way forward. Good food, good fruits, fresh vegetables, good exercise, a strong immunity. That's the answer. And if you have a disease, consult the pediatrician so that the treatment is given. It's as if everybody follows this, I don't think we are going to have a situation where it will allow a wave to form, as has been speculated in the third wave.
Absolutely. So those are very, very important points that you put out, that early diagnosis, early treatment will definitely help children overcome this COVID-19 disease with the help of healthcare professionals. You should be absolutely not self-medicating your children. That's a very big pointer out there. Other than that, keep your children safe by definitely following the protocols and making them eat healthy diet. All of those things are very, very important. One thing that you did mention was that screen time should be less. How is it possible in today's day and age when all the children are actually doing studies from home? They have extended hours of classes going on. How can parents ensure that?
It's unfortunate that this is happening, but as much as is possible. So I say, whatever is your school time, you do that. Thereafter, don't indulge into YouTube and playing games on the mobile phone. If somebody has to do something of that kind, I would suggest a bigger screen rather than a small screen on the mobile phone. The American Academy of Pediatrics has given very clear guidelines on screen time. They say there should be no screen time till 18 months of age. Beyond 18 months, about 1 to 2 hours for a child. Excessive screen time can not only harm your eyes, it can also affect your cognition, your brain, your reflexes. It can have long-term side effects on the brain. Hence, as a pediatrician and even the pediatrics body, we strongly feel that the school should reopen as and when possible and as soon as possible, so that children are able to interact with others and the normal traditional schooling starts. It is so important for the development of the personality of the child. Schooling is not just about learning something in the book and going and appearing for an exam and getting some marks and getting a certificate and then go and get a job. Education is about interacting with the other child, seeing different situations, tackling different conditions in the class, making friends, handling, standing in front of the stage, speaking in front of the teachers. Education is about so many things. I'm so surprised to see that education has taken such a backseat in India as if it is something which is the least important thing. The wine shop is open, but anything that comes to education, everybody, I think, in the country thinks this is not required. The children should be passed in the exam and they should be given a certificate. That's not education is all about. So I hope that, this goes back to whatever was pre-COVID times. As and when we feel the cases are increasing and we need to take some steps, we can take it then. But we can't stop. Things have to move on. This is very important. And this is my strong advice to the society and to the policymakers as a pediatrician.
Okay, point well taken. I hope there is good hearing from the policymakers also on those points as well. डॉक्टर कुछ और सवाल भी हैं और वो सबसे पहले मैं मास्क के बारे में भी बात करना चाहती हूँ. हम बड़ों के लिए तो बोलते हैं कि आपको मास्क पहनने बहुत जरूरी हैं. बच्चों के लिए क्या कुछ निर्देश यहाँ पर है? एज वाइज भी अगर कुछ डिफरेंस है तो आप वो भी समझाइए, जिससे से ज्यादा लोग अपने घर में बच्चों को सेफ रख पाए और कैसे उनको मास्क का यूसेज करना है बच्चों के लिए वो समझ पाए.
Yeah. So you want me to answer in Hindi? I'll answer in Hindi. So मास्क का इस्तेमाल जो है, वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ये कहता है 5 साल तक की उम्र के बच्चों को मास्क का इस्तेमाल करने की जरूरत नहीं है. 2 साल से जो नीचे है उनमें हम कहते हैं मास्क बिल्कुल इस्तेमाल ना करें. कारण यह है कि वो मास्क की वजह से उसका सांस घुट सकता है. और 5 साल तक के कमर उम्र के बच्चे जब मास्क लगाते हैं तो बार बार अपने मुंह पर हाथ लगाएंगे, मास्क नीचे करेंगे, ऊपर करेंगे, उनका गंदा हाथ उनके नाक में जाने के ज्यादा चांसेस. इसकी वजह से इन्फेक्शन जो संक्रमण नहीं होना था वो होने के चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं. बड़े बच्चों को ये हमारी सलाह है कि जब भी किसी भीड़ भाड़ वाले इलाके में जाए तो मास्क का इस्तेमाल करें. और मास्क साफ होना बहुत जरूरी है. यही नहीं कि एक ही मास्क आप बार बार पहने जा रहे हैं. उस मास्क से फिर संक्रमण होने के जो अंदेशा है वो बहुत कई गुना बढ़ जाता है. तो ये ध्यान हमें रखना चाहिए. जैसे बड़े मास्क पहनते हैं वैसे ही छोटे भी पहने. एक मेरी सलाह और है, बच्चों को हम ये करें कि वो साबुन पानी से हाथ ज्यादा धोएं बजाय इसके कि सैनिटाइजर बार बार इस्तेमाल करें. मैंने कई बच्चों को देखा है सैनिटाइजर किया उससे फिर खाना खा लिया. सैनिटाइजर में कई तरह के केमिकल्स होते हैं जो कि पेट के अंदर नहीं जाने चाहिए. तो इस बात का ख्याल रखना बहुत जरूरी है. खाना खाने से पहले आप सैनिटाइज करके नहीं खा सकते. यू हैव टू वॉश योर हैंड्स विद सोप एंड वाटर. यू कांट ईट दोस केमिकल्स. सो एज लॉन्ग एज द पॉलिसी इज देयर, जब तक ये कानून कहता है जी तब तक मास्क भीड़ भाड़ वाले इलाकों में पहनना चाहिए. खेलते समय आप जब बहुत एग्रेसिव एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हैं तो फिर आपको मास्क नहीं पहनना चाहिए, क्योंकि आपको फिर सांस लेने में दिक्कत हो सकती है. आपके शरीर का कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड लेवल बढ़ सकता है. तो इन बातों का हमें ध्यान रखना चाहिए.
एब्सोल्युटली. कोविड रिलेटेड कॉम्प्लिकेशंस हम बड़ों में बहुत ज्यादा सुन रहे हैं. बहुत नए डिजीजेस के बारे में भी नाम सामने आ रहे हैं, जैसे कि म्यूकोरमाइकोसिस, ब्लैक फंगस, येलो फंगस, व्हाइट फंगस. क्या बच्चों में भी इस तरीके के डिजीजेस अभी देखे गए हैं? और उनसे कैसे बचा जाए, उनके सिम्टम्स क्या होते हैं, कैसे पहचाना जाए, ट्रीटमेंट क्या होता है?
तो जैसे बड़ों में होता है, बड़ों में तो कई गुना ज्यादा देखा गया है, बच्चों में भी गुजरात में और कुछ एक आध शहरों में म्यूकोरमाइकोसिस के कुछ केसेस आए हैं। तो मैं आपको समझा दूं म्यूकोरमाइकोसिस के लिए क्या क्या इंग्रेडिएंट्स चाहिए हमें। सबसे पहले इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड इंडिविजुअल होना चाहिए। बच्चों में कम, क्योंकि बच्चों में इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज बच्चे कम होते हैं, जिनमें कोई इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज डिजीज हो वो दूसरी बात है। हाई ब्लड शुगर वाले जैसे डायबिटिक्स हो, ये बड़ों में ज्यादा पाया जाता है। लॉन्ग टर्म इंटेक ऑफ स्टेरॉइड्स, long term intake of antibiotics, and patient who is on zinc for a long time. zinc जो है ये फंगस को ग्रो करने के लिए जरूरत पड़ती है। आए दिन आप देखो कोई ना कोई पेशेंट, कोई ना कोई जिंकोविट खाए जा रहे हैं, A to Z खाए जा रहे हैं, मल्टीविटामिन खाए जा रहे हैं, बिना किसी से पूछे। एक प्रिस्क्रिप्शन आ जाए व्हाट्सएप पे कि किसी की कोविड की चली, उसको देखा देखी आप सोसाइटी में बांट देते हो, हाँ भी यही है कोरोना का ट्रीटमेंट, सारे लोग यही खा लो, सो बिना सलाह के दवाइयां लेना, लॉन्ग टर्म स्टेरॉइड्स, एंटीबायोटिक्स भी अगर लंबे समय तक ले, ये भी नुकसान करता है। गंदे मास्क पहनना, मास्क को आपने धोया ही नहीं, चले जा रहा है, उसके अंदर भी फंगस ग्रो करता है। तो कई कारण है इसके। और लोग कई बार सोचते हैं मल्टीविटामिन से क्या फर्क पड़ता है, हम तो खा सकते हैं, लेकिन जिंक जो है ये इसको ग्रो करने के लिए, फंगस को ग्रो करने के लिए उसको जिंक चाहिए। हम जब म्यूकोरमाइकोसिस को ट्रीट करते हैं तो हम वी गिव जिंक केलेशन, हम जिंक को शरीर से निकालते हैं। तो इस तरह के कई कारण होते हैं। तो हमें मैं बस सिर्फ एक सलाह, मेरे से कोई पेशेंट पूछता है कि इस तरह की बीमारी हो, उससे बचने के लिए या कुछ हो, क्या करना चाहिए, मेरा है कि आपको प्रॉब्लम है, आप अपने डॉक्टर से सलाह लीजिए, एंड ऑफ स्टोरी। बाकी सारी हेडेक जो है वो डॉक्टर का है, वो लेट हिम थिंक कि आगे क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना। आपका काम उन तक पहुंचना है, ट्रीटमेंट देना उनका काम है, आप उनकी सलाह मानिए। जितने दिनों तक ट्रीटमेंट दिया उतना मानिए। 5 दिन 7 दिन का एंटीबायोटिक दिया, 3 दिन में नहीं, मैंने सोचा कि ट्रीटमेंट बच्चा ठीक हो गया, मैंने बंद कर दिया, या सहेली से सुन के 15 दिन चला दिया, ये सारी चीजें बंद होनी चाहिए। दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट।
Absolutely. On that note, I want to thank you, Dr. Manan, for bringing out all these extremely important points that everybody must know. Some very important clarifications with regards to children. How should they be handled? Self-medication, a big no-no over there. And the kind of things that are floating around on social media. You have to protect yourself from any kind of misinformation. The only job that you and I have is to just understand, gauge the kind of symptoms that we are getting among us, among our family members, and bring that to the notice of our healthcare workers, our professionals who are just nearby, our family doctors, and they will do their job. Thank you very much, Doctor, for speaking to us and sparing your time for TV9 Digital and sharing these very, very important points.
Thank you.
Okay, and with that, we wrap up this edition. TV9 Digital will keep on bringing such informative videos for all our viewers with respect to COVID-19, the healthcare advice that the top experts of the country are really giving, so that you and I together can beat COVID-19 pandemic.